I'm Sally Mills of Lavolta and Lavolta Principles, and welcome to Digital Bullets 2010. We've asked some industry experts to share their thoughts on issues and developments in the digital industry. We've given each person 20 seconds to answer those questions, or else they get the chop. So we'll be broadcasting a sizzling digital bullet on a regular basis. One question answered with many different points of view. Hope you enjoy. Some commentators are predicting that set-top boxes and smart TVs will become the point at which users choose their visual media content, possibly even their music. Do you think we will see a shift from PC screen to the television screen for household consumption of video delivered over IP, including movies, television and long-form content? How will this impact on the broadcast TV industry in Australia? What will the television landscape look like in 5 years' time?
I'm not really an authority to kind of talk about television, but I have seen a significant shift in the last 12 months, and I think in 5 years' time there is no reason why we can't have all sorts of content. We can't even buy products through television. I mean, there's a whole lot of opportunity there that is really untapped.
I absolutely think people will watch internet delivered content on their TV screens. The broadcast industry in Australia is trying to adapt to that by delivering their content on the internet. The rights issues are the biggest single probably deterrent to making this happen in easier and faster and with more variety for consumers.
The challenge for traditional media, TV in particular, is that they only give you one choice. It's whatever's on that channel at that point in time. They can have multiple channels, 3, 4 or 5, but then you've only got a choice of 5 things. We're talking about something like QuickFlix with 40,000 choices. It's a long way to go for traditional media, TV in particular, to understand how they're really going to play in that space.
How will it affect the broadcasters? I agree with Stephen Conroy saying that there was an industry in terminal decline. And I do think, though, that the winners out of that are going to be the content providers. It's going to be people like Home Box Office who have established a brand for 20, 30, 40 years, whatever, have been producing quality content. And when we can access that kind of quality content direct from the provider through our television set, we're going to do it.
My feeling as someone who works in media is that in 5 years' time, TV will look remarkably similar to what it probably looks like now. I don't see a huge amount of audience erosion. I don't see a whole lot of difference in content that people will be providing. I think it will evolve as it has continued to evolve, and online and TV and other medias will be much more complementary than sort of in competition.
I'm probably a really bad person to ask because I've had my PC connected to my TV for the last 4 years. But for me it's great because I really shouldn't be saying this, but I don't have to watch any of the ads. I can download, I can do everything that I want, and I'm basically sheltered from advertising. So the impact that it will have on the traditional advertising industry is going to be massive. It just means the ideas need to get better cut through and make sure they are more engaging so consumers do want to find out more rather than just be sold to.
Yeah, I think we will see a big shift in terms of device to smart TVs or IPTV platforms. I think that's got massive consequences for the free-to-airs and any TV. I think there's far more choice. People will engage more with the content and be able to see things at a point when they want to see it, not when a program wants to see it.
I think IPTV is really going to fundamentally change the way we consume video and TV content within the house. I think actually one of the biggest barriers now is the hardware and actually the cabling to get the two together. Even myself at home trying to cable my MacBook Pro through my HD TV is not a simple thing, and certainly not something my mother would want to try.
There are multiple screens depending on the experience that we want. So if I'm at home and I want a really great, high quality, high definition, lean back experience, then nothing beats TV. PCs add a great new dimension because I can lean in, I can interact with them. Mobiles add another dimension because it gives me portability and instantaneous in the moment kind of access. I think there's a lovely relationship that exists between all of those screens, and they're not necessarily out one to cannibalise the other.
The battle for the home is going to be a big battle, but we haven't seen if you look at the uptake of something like Apple TV versus the Apple iPhone, I think the answer lies there. Some Apple TV units have been sold, but a magnitude more of the iPhones have been sold. So in my view, it's going to be much more about getting the content to the people who want it when they want it with the device they have, rather than thinking we're all going to sort of centralise around one device or one model.
I think it's really hard to predict what will happen in 5 years' time. Certainly there are a number of competing technologies and there are a number of competing providers. But I don't think anyone can substitute the impact of TV and having the set-top box dominated by the TV, because that's a really comfortable experience for people. But as we know, with some trials around mobile TV and mobile video, that even if people have a TV at home, they are using mobile TV to get the particular content that they want.
I still think in 5 years in Australia we will have the same major players that we have now. We're still too small of a market to bother, I think, competing internationally. Somewhere like the US, you've got startups like Next New Networks, which fund purely online TV, and they're really shaking things up. But with a population of 22 million, I don't think we're necessarily going to see that trickle-down effect. Media in this country has always been very concentrated, and I don't necessarily think that's going to change in the next 5 years.
I think some of the areas around second screening, which is, what's the second screen people are using with their TVs. We're seeing people turn off the PC and turning on their mobile phones. Some really interesting applications that have been introduced on the iPhone and other smartphones. Just a much easier and quicker way to access information.
Wouldn't Gingell and Lecky like to know that? I think absolutely the household TV screen is going to replace the laptop screen or the iPad screen. You know, everyone would prefer a 40-inch high-definition plasma or LCD to a laptop screen. If you can buy an Apple TV box now for $499 and stream down up onto your down from the net up onto your screen, why would you do that on a 14-inch or a 19-inch monitor?